Welcome to Streaming News Network, where we deliver balanced reporting with the facts that matter. This edition is hosted by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel and this is Streaming News Network. We begin with our first report. The founder of Chinese property giant Evergrande, Hui Ka-yen, has been sentenced to life in prison following the company's spectacular collapse and the turmoil it helped create in China's housing market. A court in Shenzhen found Hui guilty of multiple crimes, including bribery, fraud, and embezzlement. His personal assets are being seized, while Evergrande has been fined about 15.82 billion yuan for falsifying records and concealing debt. More than 50 people connected to the company were also sentenced, including two of Hui's sons. Prosecutors said Hui inflated Evergrande's assets and concealed debt between 2016 and 2021. The company had expanded rapidly using borrowed money before tighter Chinese lending rules cut off access to credit. Evergrande eventually defaulted on its debts in 2021 and was later ordered into liquidation, leaving unfinished housing projects and contributing to a broader crisis in China's property sector. For a man who rose from poverty to become one of Asia's wealthiest businessmen, Hui Ka-yen's downfall marks one of the most dramatic corporate collapses in modern China. This is Streaming News Network. Hawaii is being urged to closely monitor another developing tropical system as the islands continue recovering from Hurricane Lala's heavy rain and damaging winds. The disturbance, located well east-southeast of Hawaii, had a 90% chance of becoming a tropical depression within 48 hours as of August 19. Forecasters say most computer models currently keep the system south of the islands, but officials warn that tropical moisture and additional rainfall could still reach Hawaii. Some forecasts show a potentially close approach to the Big Island, although a direct hit remains uncertain. The warning comes after Lala brought extreme rainfall, with more than 40 inches recorded in one location on the northeastern Big Island. Authorities say at least 100 homes were damaged or destroyed, while roughly 20,000 electrical customers remained without power. Forecasters say any additional storm could complicate recovery efforts. The next Central Pacific storm to receive a name would be Moke. Residents are being urged to continue monitoring official forecasts because the system's track and strength could change significantly before the weekend. This is Streaming News Network. A Georgia man has been charged with multiple felonies after investigators say he burglarized the North Carolina home of NASCAR legend Greg Biffle shortly after Biffle and his family were killed in a plane crash. 44-year-old Terrell Williams of Stone Mountain faces 12 felony charges, including second-degree burglary, safecracking, and money laundering. Biffle, his wife Christina, and their two children were among 7 people killed when their private aircraft crashed near Statesville Regional Airport on December 18. Weeks later, authorities say someone broke into Biffle's home and stole approximately $30,000 in cash, 2 Glock handguns, NASCAR memorabilia, and gold and silver coins. Investigators say a major breakthrough came after Williams was arrested in Georgia in connection with another burglary. Property reportedly stolen from Biffle's home was discovered during that investigation, and much of the missing property has since been recovered. Authorities allege Williams used news reports and social media to identify homes that appeared to be unoccupied. Sheriff Darren Campbell says the investigation remains ongoing, with investigators examining whether Williams may be connected to other burglaries. Biffle was a 19-time NASCAR Cup Series winner and a member of NASCAR's 75 Greatest Drivers. This is Streaming News Network. The Minneapolis City Council is moving closer to adopting a citywide dress code ordinance aimed at preventing what council members call velvet rope discrimination. A council committee approved the measure Tuesday. If the full city council passes it, the ordinance is scheduled to take effect January 1, 2027. The proposal would require businesses to clearly post their dress codes, allowing customers to know the rules before entering. Supporters say the measure is intended to prevent businesses from selectively enforcing clothing requirements based on a person's race, gender, sexual orientation, or appearance. Council members cited personal experiences and previous complaints involving customers allegedly being treated differently despite wearing similar clothing. The ordinance would not affect state-regulated health and safety requirements, including rules such as no shirts or no shoes. Supporters argue that businesses should be free to establish reasonable dress standards, but those standards should be clearly communicated and consistently enforced. Council member Michael Rainville said he expects the proposal to pass, noting unanimous committee support. The full Minneapolis City Council is expected to discuss the ordinance on August 27. If approved, the new requirements would take effect at the beginning of 2027. This is Streaming News Network. A Detroit boy's walk home from school turned into an unexpected wildlife rescue after he found what he believed was an abandoned puppy lying beside the road. In May, Levi brought the animal home, and his family took it to a veterinarian. That's when they received a surprising discovery: the animal was not a puppy at all. It was a baby coyote. The young coyote was suffering from a broken leg and needed immediate care. He was transferred to the Detroit Animal Welfare Group, where rescuers named him Kojo. With proper treatment, Kojo's leg healed, and he began growing stronger at the wildlife rescue. He is now being raised alongside 2 other young coyotes, preparing for eventual release back into the wild. The rescue group says Kojo and his companions are expected to return to their natural habitat soon. Levi's family has continued supporting the animal's recovery. In fact, they designated the rescue organization as the recipient of gifts connected to Levi's bar mitzvah. What began as one boy's simple act of compassion may ultimately give a wild animal a second chance at life in the wild. This is Streaming News Network. The Trump administration is exploring whether an Australian-style retirement savings system could help Americans build larger retirement nest eggs. Australia requires employers to put 12% of a worker's pay into tax-advantaged retirement accounts. The money is invested for the future, creating what is essentially a mandatory savings program. Supporters of a similar approach in the United States argue that automatic contributions could significantly increase retirement savings, particularly for workers who currently save little or nothing. But there is a potential downside. If American employers were required to contribute 12% of employee wages, businesses could respond by reducing other forms of compensation rather than simply absorbing the additional cost. That could mean workers have less take-home income available for today's expenses, even as they build greater savings for retirement. Such a program could potentially be phased in gradually, allowing workers and businesses time to adjust. However, there are currently no concrete plans to establish an Australian-style retirement system in the United States. For now, financial experts continue to encourage Americans to save consistently and increase retirement contributions when their income rises. This is Streaming News Network. Millions of State Farm auto insurance customers are receiving a historic dividend as the company distributes $5 billion to qualifying policyholders nationwide. State Farm says the payout is its largest in the company's more than 100-year history and covers more than 49 million insured vehicles. Who qualifies? Customers who had an active personal auto insurance policy with State Farm Mutual during 2025 are eligible. The amount each customer receives is based on a percentage of the premium paid for qualifying coverage during 2025. The percentage varies by state, ranging from 4% to 10%. State Farm says eligible customers are being notified by email or regular mail. Customers with an email address on file can receive instructions for selecting their preferred payment method. Those without an email address are expected to receive a check through the mail. The company says payments are being distributed over several months because of the enormous number of qualifying vehicles. State Farm has not announced an exact date when all payments will be completed. The company says the dividend was made possible by its financial strength and stronger than expected insurance underwriting results. This is Streaming News Network. Walmart is raising its full-year financial outlook after reporting stronger than expected quarterly revenue, but investors reacted negatively to weaker than expected comparable sales, sending the company's stock down more than 8% in morning trading. For the fiscal second quarter, Walmart's revenue increased 5.9% to approximately $187.94 billion. Global e-commerce sales jumped 23%, while United States comparable sales increased 2.6%. Walmart raised its full-year sales growth forecast to between 4 and 5%, up from its previous estimate of 3.5 to 4.5%. The retailer also expects adjusted earnings of between $2.80 and $2.87 per share. Walmart says it is eligible for approximately $2.9 billion in tariff refunds, with less than $100 million still outstanding. The company says it plans to use those funds to help lower consumer prices. However, higher fuel costs are expected to create more than $2 billion in additional expenses this year. Walmart also reported strong growth in advertising, membership revenue, and international sales, while Sam's Club posted higher sales and membership income. Despite continued consumer spending, Walmart says shoppers remain under pressure from higher food and fuel costs. This is Streaming News Network. Social Security recipients could receive their largest cost of living adjustment in 4 years in 2027, according to several early projections. One estimate currently puts the increase at 3.4%. Other forecasts range as high as 3.6%. The final adjustment, however, will not be determined until later this year, after additional inflation data is released. For an average retired worker receiving about $2,085 per month, a 3.4% increase would add approximately $71 to each monthly payment, or about $850 over a year. The Social Security Administration calculates the annual adjustment using inflation data from July through September. The final figure is expected to be announced in October. Retirees should also consider Medicare costs. The standard Medicare Part B premium is currently $202.90 per month and has been projected to increase in 2027. Even with higher Medicare premiums, a larger Social Security payment could provide retirees with additional financial breathing room. Financial professionals recommend using any increase strategically, including strengthening emergency savings, paying down debt, or increasing retirement savings where possible. The important point is that the 3.4% figure is only a projection. The official 2027 adjustment could be higher or lower depending on inflation. I am Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Thank you for watching and
thank you for viewing Streaming News Network videos, and also short and special reports. Please like, subscribe, and tap the bell to be notified of additional reports.